I think we've set our stall out in this transfer window as well. I think if we, if Mark and Nicola and Nigel and everyone involved really wanted to really have a good go at this in the second half of the season, then I think we'd have seen some real proactive work in the transfer window of getting players out, getting players in, because, if we'd have got 3 or 4 out the door and brought 2 or 3 in, 2 or 3 good players in, a goal scorer, centre half, maybe a winger or something like that, another winger, then, that would have been a real sign of intent that we're going to go for it. But I think the fact that we haven't seen an addition during the transfer window sort of indicates that we're not happy with where we are. But I think we just see this as, solidify our position in the mid-table and, start again in the summer. So, no, you can't rule anything out, particularly where Tranmere Rovers involved. I wouldn't want to try and guess where the hell we're going to finish. But if we finished in the top half, and had a decent run in the second half of the season, then, I would take that from where we were in October, November. So, yeah, like I say, the no signings and the sort of lack of proactive movement in the transfer window doesn't suggest to me that the club are particularly in a rush to, or think genuinely that they can mount a promotion charge. So, yeah, that's where I'd sit with it.
And I think Saturday will be a big marker as well. We already seen one in 2024. We were both at Brentman Park for that MK Dons game, and MK Dons were streets ahead of Tranmere. They had more of the ball. They were more attacking. They were more aggressive, and they probably should have won that game much earlier and much more comfortable than the 2-1 scoreline suggests. This Saturday, Tranmere play a Crewe team who are in the playoff positions. Yes, they lost 3-2 to Salford under their new manager on Saturday, but before then they'd won at Barrow, a place Tranmere have lost this season. They won at Mansfield, a place where Tranmere drew this season. They beat Bradford and they beat Swindon. They've won 4 games in a row. So Crewe will be a really big test for Tranmere and I guess a chance for them to see where they're at yet again.
Yeah, I mean, just on MK Dons quickly, I'm quite annoyed we didn't get that manager, to be honest. I thought in the summer when, before we appointed Dawes, I thought when he was at Gateshead, I would have had that Williamson in a heartbeat. And I think the way MK Dons played football when they came to our place sort of outlined what a good coach he is. And I think what we'd all like to see of a Tranmere team. But as always, we made the balls up of that and got Ian Dawes in. But yeah, Crewe, it's disappointing to see a team like Crewe in the playoffs because we should be better than them. We should be ahead of them, would be my stance. And they're in the playoffs fighting for promotion. And we are, in the lower end of mid-table. So it's disappointing when you see teams like Barrow and Crewe up there and you're not, but they played better football than us this season, or they've certainly got better results than us this season, so they're deservedly up there. It will be a tough game. They lost to Salford, didn't it, last week, which is the first loss in a little while, which is maybe a surprising result, so they'll want to bounce back from that. But yeah, like I say, it'll be a tough game. I'm sure Nevitt will score. That seems inevitable, doesn't it? And Nevitt 90th minute winner or something, seems inevitable. But yeah, no, fair play to them. They're doing well, but it just irks me when teams like that are up there because, we would have all accepted at the start of the season teams like Wrexham and Mansfield would be above us. But if you told me that Harrogate, Crewe and Barrow would be ahead of us and finish ahead of us, I'd have been a bit annoyed about it. So yeah, hopefully we can beat today and move a few places up the table.
Well, Nevitt's been in sensational form. He scored 6 goals in his last 9 games. He scored in each of the last 3. I watched the game that they played at Barrow when, yet again, Crewe had a side where some of their academy graduates were on target, Lewis Billington and Mattis Holasek, which shows that they are still producing players, even at a League 2 level, even with everything that the Triple P brings, they are able to produce players, and I still think that Tranmere should be able to do that as well. But Nevitt, 6 goals in his last 9 games. He scored 12 for Crewe this season. He only got 14 over the course of his entire Tranmere career, which was 18 months. So it's been a staggering turnaround for him. And yeah, you would maybe expect him to get at least a chance, if not on the score sheet this weekend. What would you do with that Tranmere starting lineup? Obviously, we are not entirely aware of the fitness of certain players, but we saw Leo Connor come back in and do pretty well at Grimsby, and it was vital to see that. Is there any changes you would make?
No, not personally. I wouldn't be in a big rush to change a winning team. and I don't think there's any players on the bench that are, particularly sort of knocking the door down to get in there. I've heard Nigel make comments about Christian Dennis and getting him in, so it wouldn't surprise me if he came in for Jolly, if Nigel made that change. But to be honest, I would leave it as it is. You won away at Grimsby. We know how difficult we found it to win on the road this season. So yeah, I wouldn't be in a rush to change it. And like I say, there's no fantastic players there on that bench that I'd be saying, right, they must come into the team. So no, I think if it was me, I'd probably go unchanged from Grimsby.